I'll put mine to portrait then, eh? If you want.
Whatever you want to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Let me just close the door so the dogs don't come in. Hang on.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Oh, it's all right. The wife's done it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to start yapping.
Oh, I understand, mate.
How's things? You all right?
I've got a month-year-old. Yeah.
What kind is it?
We've got a little boy.
Oh, sorry. I was talking. I thought you meant the two dogs that I was trying to get out.
Yeah. Oh,
You got a,
well, we've got Luca, who's 4 weeks old now.
wow. Are you through the zombie stage yet of getting up in the early hours of the morning?
No, I'm deep in the trenches of that, mate, at the moment.
Yeah. I remember those days well.
Yeah, it's hellacious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, my wife did all the main work, obviously, but yeah, you kind of take it in turns. It's still, early hours of the morning, getting up and
Yeah,
mixing the bottles and all the rest of it.
yeah. The wife does the bottles, and my
Yeah,
job's like to try and mute the screams, between them getting the bottle.
I just keep on the good side.
It seems like an eternity between, him whinging for the bottle and getting it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
tough time altogether, isn't it? It's just
yeah,
kind of exhausting and just, oh my God, it's never going to end. But you'll get there in the
yeah.
end.
Yeah, I'm finding it solid doing me 9 to 5. Yeah, it's if you're having about 3-4 hours sleep, it's just impossible, isn't it?
Just sitting there rocking, just thinking, please just
So
go to
just
sleep.
Well, I drink coffee anyway, but
Yeah, yeah.
your eyes feel like they've got lead in, don't they?
I remember it well. Yeah. Well, obviously,
Yeah.
mine are like 19 and 15 now, but it doesn't seem
All
that
right.
long. It doesn't seem that long ago.
Well, but they're still tough ages, mate, though, aren't they?
Certainly is at the minute.
Remember,
Yes,
19 and 15.
that's a whole different story.
So what have you got? Have you got one of each, have you? Or
Yeah, my girl is 19. Yeah, she's obviously going through stages of the boyfriend and everything now. My lad is 15, and he's all right. He's very kind of laid back and quiet. Just kind of gets on
yeah,
with it.
yeah. Is he doing his GCSEs? Is he next year? Or
He'll be doing it next year. Yeah, obviously just done all the mocks and stuff. But yeah, next year's a big year,
yeah,
stressful
big
year.
year, pivotal year. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You live in Cambridge now, don't you, mate?
Just outside, yeah. I mean, we say
Yeah,
Cambridge because obviously, whenever we live a little village called 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚖𝚖𝚢, but whenever you say it, people are like, no clue. So
yeah,
the easiest thing to do is go, well, it's near Cambridge.
yeah. So how long have you lived there, Jimmy?
Oh God, 20 years?
20.
Uh, yeah, 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, you're a Tocky lad, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, yeah. Obviously, I've still got
Yeah,
plenty of, still got
yeah,
loads of family up there, spread through. Well, I
yeah,
was born in Torquay, then we moved to 𝚑𝚒𝚘𝚅,
yeah.
then over to Hale Wood. Then I think we went to Skelmersdale. Then we went over to Runcorn, which every,
Bloody
which,
hell, yeah,
which everybody does.
yeah,
And then I did most of my secondary school in Runcorn, a
yeah.
place called Brookvale, which what's her name
Mhm.
was there? What's her name was there? He was a couple of years above me. John Bishop.
Oh, was he? Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, it was, and then I moved got my own place back in Elwood in the village, and then I was
yeah,
only there a year, and then the band, we put the band together, so it was kind of like
yeah,
I wasn't back there long
yeah.
enough.
Then you got dragged to London, I suppose. Yeah,
Well, we actually went to Glasgow first. We actually
oh,
we lived in Glasgow because our manager was from Glasgow, and we lived there for about a year and a half when we were doing all the we were doing like school tours and trying to
yeah,
get our
yeah,
database up and all the rest of it. And then eventually, when we got signed to Virgin, obviously all the TV studios and everything is down in London, so it was inevitable you were going to end up down there anyway.
yeah. I read that you went to Glasgow to form. Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
the band formed.
yeah. It's
So,
like a second home to us. I mean, obviously we're going to be visiting back up there again, obviously during our tour,
yeah,
which starts in about 4 weeks' time. Yeah.
2 sold-out shows in Glasgow, isn't it, mate? Yeah,
Yeah, and I think 2 shows sold out in Liverpool as well. It'd be nice
yeah,
just to get back on the road and
yeah,
we haven't been to some of these places for a long time.
yeah. Sold out in Birmingham as well.
Yeah, we've done it. I mean, to be fair, it's done really well, and we did get offers to do more dates, but
Yeah,
we were a bit like, do you know what? We'll keep it on the down low for now, and then we're going to well, obviously when I don't know when this goes out, but the plan is obviously we're going to announce another tour for next year. So instead of doing like 50 dates this year, we thought we'd just hold back and just kind of go, right, let's just do the whatever we got. I don't even know what it is now. 28, 30, I think. And then obviously we'll do some more. We'll do another tour next year.
It's still a good stretch what you're doing, isn't it?
Oh God,
still
yeah.
busy over autumn.
As you get to our age, we're in our 50s now. We're like, what do you mean? I gotta go and do about 4,500 miles, touring you up and down the UK, Scotland, and everything. But takes its toll on its body,
You've got Chester Pride tomorrow, haven't you, as well?
We have, yes. I'm heading up that way. My mum's obviously my mum lives in the Isle of Man, so she's over for a couple of days. So seeing her, got a couple of mates that are coming from Liverpool that I used to live with in Aylwood. So yeah, they're always good fun.
I'd like to get there for tomorrow because I'm mates with Lolly.
Oh, okay.
Well. Yeah, but logistically,
Lolly the performer.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know her husband, Mike?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he follows me on Facebook. Yeah. I know he was involved in 911, wasn't he?
He was. He did one of the tracks. I think it was "How Do You Want Me to Love You" towards the end of it. Him, I'm trying to remember his partner was a production guy he was with. But I've kept in touch with Mike for years. In fact, I only spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. And obviously Lolly, yeah, in fact, I didn't know until I went to see him for the first time after many years. And he was like, "Oh, you remember, your paths obviously used to cross because we always used to do road shows and all these things." And realized it was Lolly, yeah. But he's a good lad, Mike. Yeah,
he did all the songwriting for it.
Yeah. I mean, he's done really well. He's produced some great songs as well. As I say, he was production for one of our songs, and I think he wrote the track as well. It's nice to, I mean, even to this day, it's nice to still see producers. There's not many left now, it's still in the business that we're in the small circle of, the one with the time that we did in the 90s. I mean, the likes of, our old producers like Elliot Kennedy, who did all the Take That stuff. He's still going. Obviously, Mike Stevens and all the musicians that, Take That boys, were our musicians after Take That split. And now they're back with Take That because they're touring again. So it's nice to see regular faces again.
Well, it's nice to keep in contact with people worth keeping in contact with, isn't it? Hey.
Well, especially in this day and age, when you think about as we get a bit older, it's like a lot of people have left the music business. When we're talking, especially to a lot of artists, who are a lot of young and up and coming and all the rest of it, and it's great to see it. But they're talking like fresh new producers we've never heard of. So we're kind of it's kind of nice when we bump into people that we're like, "Oh yeah, do you remember you did that track with us?" And we just did a road show last week in Leicester, and we met up with Chris Moyles. I hadn't seen him for like
20, I saw the picture.
26 years. It was like, oh, it's mad. I mean, we used to do Chris's radio station, and we'd go to the pub afterwards and have a few beers. But we haven't seen him for that long. But it's just great to see some regular faces.
Did you speak about the day you made the fateful announcement live on Radio 1?
He kind of said to us, he said, I bet you in I don't know how many, said a year's time, you'll get back together again. And we were like, no, absolutely not. That's it. We're done. I'm off. And that was it. But yeah, he was kind of reminded us of that. But he's a good lad, Chris.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. About announcing the end of the band. Yeah. So when did you first become a Jimmy? Have you always been known as Jimmy?
I think it was more, obviously you've got the parents call you James, especially my mum when she's telling me off, like. But it's I think it kind of hit a bit when it was like probably school really, because it's a bit like, all right, Jimmy lad, and so James didn't really fit. It was kind of they kind of stuck from then, and then obviously we went on and did like the Hitman on Air, and from that point of view, it kind of became kind of the name that was stuck then.
Because James doesn't ever fit me either. I get called Jay. My dad's got the same name as me, so he's known as Jimmy Lowe.
Really?
Well, I'm just wondering when the progression for me is to be a Jimmy. If it's going to happen at all.
Or a Jimbo or a Jim Bob. Lots of names out there.
Everyone calls me Jim Bobs.
Yeah,
because I'm 42 now, so I think maybe the Jimmy's passed me by. I don't know.
It might be too late for you.
Yeah. Right, mate. So you hit the big time during an era, there were lots of boy bands like E17 and Boyzone.
Yeah.
So how closely were you looking at what those guys were doing?
I think we were when we first got together, when we first met was 95, and that was the year that Take That split. And obviously being, so close to it, we always replicated what Take That did. And we even our manager did, because he always said, what I'm going to do, my job, you go out and do your job. I'm going to base it all on Nigel Martin-Smith, because he was seen at the time as the best manager. Take That with the biggest band. And we were like, yeah, let's just kind of do what they did. Obviously, previously to that, especially when we were doing the Hitman, I remember New Kids on the Block. There was a song of theirs called Tonight, and that was one of those that was a bit like, for me, I'm like, yeah, I want to be in a boy band. I want to get up there.
The tune, that, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I know that.
Big time. I mean, it's. I'm very good friends with Danny. We've just been to Vegas to see New Kids and Backstreet Boys, and I've always kept in touch with Danny for many years. And they're still doing their residency at MGM. But yeah, it's one of those bands that, there was like you said, there's lots of boy bands back in the 90s, and we were doing Smash It tours and Radio On road shows and boy bands everywhere.
Did you see an opening when Take That were out the picture then?
I think we did, but we didn't purposely, we were already talking and kind of thinking of putting the band together by the time Take That had split. So it was a bit like, it wasn't like we kind of saw the split and went, right, let's do it. It was like just good timing for us. A big boy band that ended, little be known to us at the time. There wouldn't be just us as a boy band, there'd be 20 others, because like you say, you got E17 and God, there's so many of them. But I think it was just that era in the 90s was just a great time for boy bands.
It was, and there was A1 as well, weren't they?
Yeah, A1, Boyzone,
another level.
Yeah, another level. Yeah, there was tons of them. Even some bands that we were good friends with that never actually made it. People like Code Red, and people that read the Smash Hits would know these names. They're one of these. You might have had a hit or maybe 2 hits or whatever, and we got to know them, but they just didn't quite make it.
And there was one called Northern Line.
Northern Line,
They came to my secondary school. Yeah.
Right, yeah. It was quite a big deal, wasn't it? Everybody kind of went, they all started this thing of like doing school tours, trying to basically raise your database. So we would like take leaflets with us and do a performance and like give the leaflets out before we had emails, obviously. And then our fan club manager then would literally be typing all the names and addresses into a computer, so that when we released our first single, we could, send a message out to them, right, buy the single, Obviously, we didn't have all the major technology back then, but that's what you did. Everybody did school tours.
Yeah. And you used to like subscribe to mailing lists, didn't you?
Yeah.
Put your address. You used to get like postcards through the door, didn't you? Like advertising the new single.
The days of leaflets and posters.
Yeah, I used to get like ones for Jamiroquai through the door, like the next single coming out. I don't remember giving me address, but must have done. So you worked extensively for like a year and a half doing the school tours, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes 7 shows a day.
It was horrendous. It was like, but I mean horrendous in a good way, because it was our choice. That's what we wanted to do. We were young, very enthusiastic. We were like, listen, we'll just flog it until we can, work no more. Never earned a penny, just kind of like struggled to kind of hire a car to get us from A to B. And then we eventually had a guy called Frank, who came on as our kind of finance guy. So he was kind of involved in the bubble and the management, but obviously he'd made money and kind of financed, our first couple of singles, which gave us a bit of a leg up, really, because obviously when we did get to release them, it was one of the light bulb moments, because what really happened was all the databases all got a leaflet. They all went out and bought it. And then for the first time ever, we entered the top 40 without having a record label. It was our own independent label, and because the likes of Frank, financed it, enabled for us to do it, and because of the fact that we got in the charts, all these record companies are all sitting there going, "How have they done this without any TV, without any magazines, any radio play?" And that started the ball rolling, and for them to go, right, we need to have a chat with these boys.
Started a bit more between the record labels, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did all the and we did not just the school tours, but the radio road shows. We used to do City FM. Me and Spike were the dancers for City FM for a year or so, and we used to go in between. So like Eternal would come on, they were out, and we would go on in between and just do some breakdancing and some dance routines and
bit of body popping.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah. Were you always confident that you're going to find success then?
I think we were. I think we were confident. Not, I wouldn't say overconfident. I think we just knew we'd found a bit of a niche in the way that, a lot of the bands. I know Take That did quite a bit of it because Howard and Jay used to do breakdancing, but a lot of the bands were very much like just standing and singing, and we were a bit like, yeah, we need to be kind of our kind of show needs to be part of what we do. So the backflips, the somersaults, the breakdancer was what we made our show about. And I think it made it more appealing. So we were confident we were going to do something. We just didn't know how far it was going to go.
Yeah. So is that what set you apart from the other boy bands, do you think? Like the breakdancing, would you say?
I think so at the time, yeah. When you think about like 𝚑𝚒𝚅, they did a little bit of dancing. A lot of the other bands, I mean, Boyzone did some a little bit. None of the other bands were doing breakdancing and flips and all that kind of stuff. We were kind of like, as I say, Take That had just split, and I know Jay and Howard did a lot of it, and they were the same. That some of their shows were just incredible. We used to love them. And again, going back to the shows, I mean, Kim Gavin, famous stage choreographer who put all their shows together, became our choreographer when we were doing our arena tours and stuff. So it just made sense for us. It was a great little niche.
Yeah, and you have that link with Jason Orange because he was on the Hitman in here as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, me and Spike were. I think it was. I want to say 93, maybe 92. And Jay, we'd seen Jay at Mr. Smith's in Warrington where he used to rehearse, and he was there with a couple of other guys, Tommy Collins and all the rest of it. The people they used to be in a breakdancing crew together. So Jay was doing his bits, and then probably within a couple of months after getting to know him, he kind of left, and everyone was a bit like, "What's going on here?"
And then
we went to we then started rehearsing in a place called Peaches in Manchester, and weirdly, we were all in one room, and Jay comes out and says hello to everybody, and he's like, "We're like, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm with these other four boys in here. They were all in there rehearsing. We're gonna do some songs with the boy band." And we were all like, "You better not coming back to the Hitman and Air, lad. That's never going to do nothing in there, them lads." But
imagine if he listened.
Thankfully, he didn't listen yet. He went.
Yeah. Just in the room next door doing the video for "Do What You Like."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't even think they had a single out. I think it was literally they were just rehearsing for the first single. So thankfully, for all of us and all the fans out there, he didn't listen to me.
Yeah. So it's a big anniversary for the band this year, isn't it? 30 years since your first single.
It's crazy, it is.
Yeah. So how do you feel that you're still able to do this and with all the original members?
It's a weird one for us, really. I mean, I know it's really cliche, but we don't feel like 30 years has passed. It does feel like 5 minutes ago, moving from Glasgow to London. Going into Virgin Records and having meeting all these kind of like people in the canteen. Like the Spice Girls had just been signed; they're all sat there in the canteen. Billy Piper was there. All the people that were signed to Virgin, Kavanagh, and then it was like. We were just kind of mixing with everybody, and everybody hadn't taken off, so we were all just kind of in the same boat. But to be amongst it all, from being in Glasgow with no money whatsoever, we still didn't have a lot of money when we first started, but we just knew that we'd been given 4-album deal, so we knew that the next 4 years was going to be crazy for us. And that's exactly what we wanted, so we loved it.
And it was exactly 4 or 5 years, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the duration of it.
Well, it's mainly because obviously we had the 4-album deal, so whatever happened, we were always going to get 4 albums out of Virgin. And lucky for us, we kind of during them years we disappeared to Asia, and it just went ballistic over there for us. Yeah. But yeah, we did come to the end of like 4 years and did contemplate, do we go and get another deal for another couple of years or whatever? And that was kind of the point. I think the boys had kind of like exhausted and just had enough. So who knows? We maybe could have gone a deal, but yeah, we did the 4 years.
Yeah, I've recently interviewed Kiwi, and obviously
Bb
would drop. Yeah, bb would drop like a hot potato, weren't they?
It was
And they
it was a
didn't know.
it was a different business. It was like, if you weren't getting like, bearing in mind every single that, during the week, every time you release a single, we were selling 100,000 copies of a single every week, no matter what. And if you didn't get in the top five, you were kind of seen a bit like, oh, this is a bit of a fail. But to think of like 100,000 units a week for, let's say, 6-7 consecutive weeks, you can get in the top three now, 7,000 copies. It's a whole different ballgame now.
Sell that much anymore, do you?
No.
Get behind the chart.
𝚑𝚒𝚅 Girls, obviously, they got to a point where the rec company, rightly or wrongly, just kind of said, well, you're not selling 100,000 anymore. So, they make some, and it's a horrible decision because you might still be doing well. But if they're not making enough money from you, it's a business at the end of the day.
They were ready to fly out to film the music video for the latest single, and the phone went, and it was to let them know they'd been dropped.
Oh, really? I didn't know that much, but obviously, I mean, we know the girls well, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that far.
We were all flabbergasted. Yeah, it was.
I bet
like the rug was pulled from under their feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cutthroat business, and it's ruthless, and for anybody that goes in. I mean, it's different now. It wouldn't be the same because now you can make records at home and release them yourself. You don't need the record anymore.
There's pros and cons to that as well, though, Jimmy, isn't there? Yeah.
There is. I mean, obviously, you don't sell as much. We don't make as much anymore. It's the rec companies have either folded or they've merged together to make one big label. The kind of music videos we used to make. They were spending 250 grand on a video. Now you'd be lucky if you got 5 grand for a video.
Not home anymore. The music video, is it? Sadly.
I mean, there's a lot of, I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of artists now, just make it in their bedroom or make kind of videos that are like, lyric sheets. So you just do words or
lyric videos. Yeah.
It's one of those that it's not a money business anymore. It's just, and nobody really cares about the charts anymore, which is really sad.
Yeah, I do, but
it doesn't mean anything, does it? It's like
no. Like Sam Fender and Olivia Dean have just broke the record, haven't they, for most weeks at #1?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
There's the one Bryan Adams held it, but if you look even further back, it was like Frankie Lane with I Believe.
Yeah.
So this record stood for like 70 years, and it's been broken now.
And the sad thing is, do people really care? Because if you just said that, when Bryan Adams did it, obviously it was connected to a move, but when it was like such a massive deal and it was all over the news and all the rest of it. Now it's like she's broke the record and, good luck to her. Great. But do people really kind of go,
it's more like an and finally now, isn't it? It's not front page news.
Yeah.
Speaking of music videos, so obviously Party People Friday Night, that was a pretty extravagant videos, wasn't it? That in the States?
Yeah, we were, I'm sure we were over there promoting something else as well. But yeah, it was filmed at the bottom of the Hollywood sign in a car wash. And there's a couple of people in it that were from. I'm not even going to try and imagine what it was. It was one of these, these big high school American TV shows that was on. A couple of characters are in the Party People, apparently.
Tons of them, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was a great time. We lived it up and stayed in the Four Seasons and went out and did some writing out in a ranch out in Hawaii and stuff like that. Miami and places like that. So it was great experience for us traveling around the world and stuff. But like I say, you go back to it and go, well, that just cost you 250 grand that you've got to pay back, by the way.
There was no budget then, was there? Money was no object, it seems to me, anyway.
But again, it's it came off the back that you were selling 100,000 units a week. That's where they could afford to spend that kind of money.
Yeah. If you weren't doing well, you wouldn't have the extravagant videos, would you?
Not at all.
Nothing Stops the Rain. That's a good video as well.
We never actually got to release it, did we? There's always kind of politics that goes on within the rec company. Reasons why they don't do it. I mean, we did do a video. I think Nothing Stops the Rain was a B-side to something. Well, yeah, we still shot
like
a video for it.
Futuristic video, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it was good. It was a good video.
Like looking into the future.
Very futuristic. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one, and that's one of your most prominent vocals, I find.
Yeah, it's
people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we started to as things went on, we started to kind of, I suppose, change it up a little bit. Rather than it be the norm of like, Lee doing lead vocals and us doing BBs and all coming together to the chorus. I think we just kind of looked and went, right, let's switch it up and let's try and do things a little bit different.
Yeah, alternate a bit.
Yeah.
Keeps things fresh.
Absolutely.
So the band had decent chart success before landing your first #1 with a little bit more. So do you remember where you were when you found out it hit the top spot? And was there a mega party that night?
I'd like to say there was a mega party, but there wasn't. And that was more because we were just knackered. I think we'd just done a stint in Asia, and we'd come back, and we were actually in Ireland doing one of their big TV shows. And when you back there in the 90s, what used to happen on a Wednesday, I think Wednesday afternoon, you used to get what was called the midweeks. So the record company could find out where you were in the charts on a Wednesday. Still didn't make any difference because things could change by the time you got to, the Saturday or whenever, the Sunday when the charts came in. And we were in Ireland. And then eventually, just before we were due to go on this TV show, record company rings up and goes, "You've done it. You got your slot #1." And obviously we went ballistic, and it was a bit like, let's do the TV show. Let's get back to the hotel. Let's have a few beers. And then our tour manager, a guy called John Pryor, who's looked after a lot of other people, kind of organised. Flew our parents over. So when we got back to the hotel, our parents were there to congratulate us and stuff. Yeah, it was good. It was a long time coming. We'd missed out. We'd had #2s, #3s so many times. So it was nice to get that final #1.
It was a steady progression to the top spot, wasn't it? Because you had a lot of top 10 hits prior.
Oh yeah, I think somebody gave us a stat quite a while ago that we are one of only 4 or 5 people that have ever had 10 consecutive top 10 hits. I think it's George Michael, Steps, and I don't know who the rest are, but we're apparently only 4 or 5 artists have ever done it.
Nice statistic, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Because they weren't singles flying in at like number 75, were they? They were all charting very high.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to we were flying high. We were doing consecutive years of arena tours, so we were selling a lot of units for every single that came out, and obviously the Journey album being the first one. We were lucky that we actually had six singles off the first album, which is kind of unheard of. It's always been like, most people have like 2 or 3 and then have to move on to the next one. But the Journey was a successful album.
It's like Michael Jackson's Thriller, isn't it? Having about 6 or 7 singles.
I mean, I would love to be getting half of that, half of his sales.
Biggest selling album of all time.
Yeah.
You did an album of cover versions, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, that came about because of, so we did Jane, then we did Moving On, then we did There It Is, which is the covers album. And it originally came because the Bee Gees did a charity album, and basically every artist that was featured on the album was asked to sing a Bee Gees song. So we covered, obviously, More Than a Woman, and like the likes of Robbie and a few others all did collaborations, and we all did this charity album that was Bee Gees. So the idea, obviously, from a covers album was obviously, I know we did like Night to Remember being the first one, but that's where the idea for the covers album came, because we'd done this charity album, and it was a great album. It gave us an opportunity to sit down, go through a whole library of old songs, and go, right, let's give it a go, let's revamp it, and just see
all songs that you loved anyway.
Yeah, and try to give you an idea of what it's like to. I wouldn't want to say better the song, because some of the songs are songs that some people say, you probably shouldn't have touched it. And that's fair enough. But it was just our view. Yeah, it's just our view on the song. We weren't kind of going, oh, let's make it better. It was we just wanted to cover those songs.
Yeah. Do your own take and maybe modernize them. Absolutely. Some of them would have been 20, 30 years old, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. I think we did obviously Rick Astley, we did The Real Thing. It was just great songs.
Big song, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Nice tunes, don't mate?
Yeah.
So obviously, I told you I spoke to Qivi. She obviously was telling me how intense the schedule was for 𝚑𝚒𝚅.
Yeah.
So it would have been the same for you guys. I remember a quote from you saying, "How am I supposed to pose when I can't keep my eyes open?"
Yeah.
It's like a famous quote you said.
Yeah, it's
very
true.
Would have been on the big reunion.
It's a weird one because obviously, you know, you have this set in your mind at the beginning of it all going right. We just want to work like dogs and just kind of do it, and it's great, and you get all the success and you get all these, you know, these great tracks in high in the charts. But you don't understand back then that, because, you know, what is tiredness really? Because when you somebody, in fact, somebody put it on social media a while ago. I think it was put into the smash hits. Somebody took a picture of a page of the smash hits and it had our schedule for, I think it was 6 months. And I swear to God, it was just incredible. The things like going, right, you're in Malaysia for 3 weeks, you're going to fly back and do Top of the Pops, then you're going to fly out to Europe and do blah, blah, blah. No breaks whatsoever for 6 months.
It really was global, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you've got, and you know, and I'm not saying that, you know, I didn't like it or I didn't want it, because that's what we wanted. But it's not until you're in it you realize how tired you are. You can't even
prepared,
you can't function properly. You know what I mean? And that's not good for the band, because I'm sure there's probably, you know, some photo shoots where we all just look knackered and don't look like we're supposed to look. So I think that was the point where we should have just, you know, stepped in and gone, right, we're taking a week off. But we just kind of went, you know what, we're here. This is what we wanted. So this is what we got to do.
Do you think the heavy workload was too high a price to pay for success?
If you asked me to go back and do it again, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Just because it was probably the best times of our lives. And we were very, I wouldn't say lucky, because we worked very hard. I think we just had a great experience in life, and I would go and do it again. If I could change things about it on the way, then I would slightly, but I wouldn't say it was a too heavy a price, because we got to experience a lot more things people haven't.
Yeah, definitely. So many different cultures, especially in the Far East.
Yeah.
Because they really lap up the pop music there, don't they? To another level.
It was incredible. We flew in, I think off the journey out. I don't know which single it was, but we flew in. Nobody told us that the album had gone to #1. So we literally, it is on a video somewhere where you walk around the corner and it's just like Beatlemania. We couldn't get out. They had to draft the army in to get us out, basically. So it was just incredible. Every album out there was 8-9 times platinum. It was just crazy. The amount of gigs we did out there. We did stadiums. We did shopping malls where they had to close them down, and it was just we're just three of us standing there going, "What is going on? Where does this come from?" It's like, it's just crazy.
It's the same for Kavanagh was massive, wasn't he, in Asia as well?
Yeah, he was. I think he was. I mean, good-looking lad. You know what I mean? And great pop songs. And I just think they love it over there. They love the whole pop culture.
And what was it about 90s pop stars doing Shalimar covers as well?
Do you know what? Do you know how that came about? Was because there'll be a few people that remember. There used to be a thing called the Coca-Cola Roadshow. A bit like the Radio 1 Roadshow, but it was like Coca-Cola, and they would go around. And we used to do it like Ultimate Chaos, and they were like, "We want you on it, but we need some songs," and we didn't have anything. So we did a cover of like every little step, Bobby Brown, just so that we could do like, breakdancing and the choreography and all the rest of it. And then we came up with this concept. We sat around a coffee table in our manager's house and went, right, we need a great 70s cover that, very kind of like up tempo that we can change to like, put some great routines. And there was things like there was a couple of other really massive 70s covers, and Shalimar, the Night to Remember, everybody knew it. We were like, that's a great song. And then when we eventually went to Elliot Kennedy, who was the producer for all the Take That stuff, and said, listen, we've got this song, Night to Remember. Would you produce it for us as our first single? And it was just lucky that he turned around and went, that's my favorite song ever. Yeah, so he was like, I would love to do it. But that's how it got involved. I know. But great choice, though.
Yeah. No, I prefer that to I Can Make You Feel Good, the Kavanagh did.
Yeah, I mean, it was a few Shalimar covers, yeah.
So you were one of the many bands to benefit benefit from the big reunion, weren't you?
Yeah.
So were you hesitant before you agreed to do that? And had you
Very.
not seen Lee and Spike for a while before then?
Yeah, we were very hesitant. It was the first time we'd done any TV for quite a long time, and I think the concept of the TV was very. They said it's going to be like warts and all, which we weren't really afraid of, because because we did have a few conversations. We were like, not sure about it. We had a couple of meetings with the producers and the directors down in London. They told us the concept. Obviously they sold it to us, but we were all a bit like, it's fine to sell it to you in one way, but the reality of it is how it's going to be edited together, which is the same concept with every TV. And we decided, we'd do it, but the only way we would do it, we would agree that is we tell it as it is. We tell everything, because what you don't want to be doing in that situation is looking over your shoulder and waiting for them to pull you up on something where, oh, you said this, but we found this. So we were like, if we're going to do it, let's do it, but we just tell it as it is. Rightly or wrongly, I mean, some people were a bit like, oh, okay, we didn't know that about you, or especially mine. I mean, I kind of went through the drugs and the alcohol and was quite open about it, and I wasn't bothered about being open. But you can look at the angle and go, was it the right move? Was it not? But I think we just went, well, let's just do warts and all.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You'd rather do that than some horrible reporter publishing it, wouldn't you?
It's just one of those where if it's going to go out on TV, and as you say, you're going to have journalists and a lot of other people could sit there and go, well, that's not right because I know this happened, and be the first ones to go to the journalists. We're not having that, and it did happen obviously to a few people on the TV show, and we knew that we'd have anything to worry about. We were like, well, what we've said on TV is exactly what happened.
It's quite freeing, I suppose, Jimmy, isn't it? To do it that way, yeah.
And it's it's a journey. Bearing in mind it's a journey I'd kind of already been through from a therapy point of view, so I wasn't afraid to kind of just tell it as it was anyway.
Yeah, so I think it really benefited 911, and I've watched a few of the big reunions. I've watched the 𝚒𝚒𝚘𝚗𝚜, all their highlights. It served a purpose for all the bands that were on there, and they're all still doing it now, aren't they?
I think everybody's has their own opinion, and I think especially people, maybe it's a Liverpool thing, I don't know. I mean, people I know, obviously the girls, 𝚒𝚒𝚘𝚗𝚜 and all the rest of it is they're quite open and honest and just say it as it is. But I think it's just the way we were all brought up. It was always a case of like, well, what have you got on me if you haven't got nothing?
Yeah, indeed, that's totally right. That. So there's a part where Spike, it brings you up about, what you did after the band.
Yeah.
The things you shouldn't have been doing. And he's quite critical of you, isn't he? So was that really hard for you to hear that from him?
I suppose it was at the time, but bearing in mind that, we've always been very honest with each other as well. So, and I wasn't kind of being honest and saying what I said in order to get a certain reaction. I just said it. So I already knew that the reaction could go either way. Now, and I was quite prepared to take the reaction either way. So if that was the way that Spike was maybe in a bit of a shock, and just kind of, and said it and all the rest, I respect that. That's fine. Not everybody's going to agree with what I went through or agree with the decisions I made. So I didn't take offense. It's just one of those.
Well, the 90s music industry chewed up a lot of people, didn't it, mate? Yeah. A lot of people are affected by it, aren't they?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, we've all seen the horror stories ever since, with different people. And I'm sure it'll continue in years to come, but especially in the 90s, because there's a lot of people, a lot of bands, you heard more and more of the stories,
Yeah. So did you have many people to turn to after the band broke up, or were you just were you left alone? Were you?
I suppose really I took myself off, and I didn't really, I've always had my family, always been a close family, but I never kind of invited them in to the circle of me being in that kind of depression and alcohol and drugs. I just literally I've spoken about it before, 4 or 5 bottles of wine a day with the partner I was with at the time. And just really, I suppose disheartened because you realise that the phone calls that you used to make or the people that used to ring you weren't there anymore. So that kind of give you even more of a spiral. And I just kind of went into this spiral of like, I think I got to the stage where I just couldn't, when I was drinking it, I couldn't numb the feeling anymore. That's when I kind of, turned to the harder stuff. But, it's just, it was just a spiral I kind of had to get myself out of, really.
When you're drinking and you couldn't feel drunk anymore, you doing it that much?
Yeah, and it was just one of those. It was like, well, another bottle of wine, whatever, and it was like, I need a kick from somewhere else here. So obviously, I kind of went off and found the local dealer in the place I was living at the time, and that's where that started.
So, was there any level of care given to you by the record label?
No, it's become quite a big thing now, especially because of all the things that have happened, in recent years with like 𝚑𝚒𝚖𝚖𝚢 and a lot of other people. It was never ever seen in the old days in the record companies. It just wasn't. At the end of the day, you were there, and once you were gone, you were gone. That was it. Nobody picked up the phone anymore, and I'm not saying that they were in the wrong at the time, but at the time, it just wasn't one of those things that you thought about. You kind of knew
you any this way.
No, but you went into the music business knowing that you may come out of this good or bad, but you dealt with it yourself. Yeah. So, and you can't blame the record company for not having somebody there at your side when it all goes wrong, because it just wasn't the done thing then. In hindsight, looking back, it would have been a great move because you would have had a lot less people going through a lot of stuff that like I went through. But then, in hindsight, a lot of things, could have changed and would have made it a lot better.
Yeah, that's another thing that 𝚑𝚑𝚅, a counsellor.
Yeah.
She said if she could have changed one thing, it would be the band having an appointed counsellor.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's become more apparent in the music business these days, or let's say 10, 15 years. Stories are coming out about people that have been struggling really, tough with drink or drugs or whatever it is, depression, and it's really sad, some of the stories that we've had to hear. But like you say, if they'd have introduced it back then maybe we wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, though, isn't it?
Certainly is, mate. Yeah.
A lot's changed in 25 years, hasn't it?
Actually, made me feel old.
It was a golden age for pop music, though, wasn't it? I think
it was. I mean, there's so many people. If you speak to them now, and they go, "There'll never be another era like '90s." I know people like there's people obviously that I'm friends with, people like Kenny Thomas, Tony Hadley, all from the '80s, and they'll go, "The '80s would never be the same." But that's fine because that was their generation. But whether I'm biased or not, '90s for me was just insane. Yeah. It was just the music was just incredible.
Yeah. Are you mates with Kenny?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, he does my charity ball every year. I always book Kenny.
Yeah, he's one of the most high profile interviews I've done.
He's a great lad, Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah, I did Fun Loving Criminals. I did Kenny Thomas. Yeah. He's a really nice fella.
What an incredible voice that Kenny's got.
It's brilliant. Yeah, he's still doing it. Yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah.
He's announced some London shows today as well.
Yeah, I went to see him he did a show recently in Cambridge Corn Exchange. It's like 15, 20 minutes away from me on his last tour, which was only a few months ago. And obviously, I say Kenny does my charity events. But I went and saw him a couple of months ago when he did his tour, and yeah, he's just got an insane voice. He really is.
Yeah. He's the nicest guy in music, I think.
He is. He's a lovely fella.
Yeah. His last album's very good as well, isn't it?
Every album's just incredible. He's just and the frustrating thing, he makes it look so easy.
Yeah. Effortless.
Yeah.
No, he's a UK soul legend, definitely.
Yeah.
Just go back to the Chris Moyle show. You said the announcement took you totally by surprise when Lee and Spike told you they were doing it. So do you think that was a hasty or even foolish decision in hindsight?
I mean, who am I to say right or wrong? And we were in Asia. I mean, we'd been out there for about 4 or 5 months. Yeah, and we were absolutely exhausted, obviously, shows and whatever we were doing out there. And they just kind of pulled me aside one day and went, we don't want to kind of carry on anymore, or after we'd done our 4 albums, and then we got back, and to be honest, I didn't really take it seriously until we got back to the UK, and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to announce it on the Chris Moores," and I was like, "Okay, so it's definitely happening then." But I can't say whether it was right or wrong. I mean, for me, I'd have gone and got a deal somewhere else and carried on, but then I can't put myself in the mental stability and the mental space that the other lads are in. And maybe they were kind of just had enough of like the whole bubble and just kind of wanted to break away. And so it's not for me to say whether it was right or wrong. For me personally, would have carried on and got another deal. But at the same time, maybe they were just going through a lot of mental stuff they had to deal with away from the music business.
Yeah, something untoward might have happened, mightn't it, if you carried on? Something bad might have happened.
Possibly. I mean, if he'd have carried on and got a new deal, it might have just all spiraled out of control, and it would have, we kind of went, I want to say we kind of went on a high. So who knows if you didn't have got a new deal, you might have been kind of down to the dregs again before you split, which nobody wants, And
it would have been worse carrying on for a few years and having a few flops, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Would have tarnished the band's legacy, wouldn't it?
Maybe who knows, right or wrongly, maybe it was the right decision.
Yeah. So, in your peak, who were your biggest mates in the industry outside 911?
I wouldn't say mates. I mean, obviously and I say that quite openly because you never really had time to have friendships, because of our schedules. But the people that we met regularly on road shows, Radio 1 road shows, other radio shows, smash hits, were all like the usual stuff that people saw. I mean, Andre, my kids, grew up with their kids when they were younger, and still have a great relationship with all of them now. And it's really weird because obviously, in fact, I took my daughter to one of Pete's shows, and he got she got a picture with Princess, and they got pictures together when they were like 5 years old, and it was just weird seeing like the step up and all the rest of it. But people like that, all the bands across the smash hits and all that, we were friends. I know obviously the media tried to make out as though you were rivals, but it was
like it's a rivalry, don't they?
Yeah, it was never like that. We were just they did their thing, I did my thing, our thing, and then our paths would cross. We'd be like, "How you doing? You all right? Yeah, good luck with the next one." And we'd move on.
Yeah, just acknowledging one another's success.
Yeah. But we never had any rivalry with anybody.
No. So were you friends with Kavanagh? You spoke to him, yeah. Have you read his book?
I haven't read it yet. I mean, I've seen him. I saw him actually in, where was we at? I think we were doing a charity night somewhere a couple of years ago. It was, and I know he's gone through his, he's gone through his kind of ups and downs in life, and he won't mind me saying that. It was kind of like, because we used to see him, and he was always like hammered, just like, and then he would go on stage, and we did obviously the big reunion. He was still drinking heavily on that because they formed the band, the 5 people, didn't they? And it was kind of sad to see because he's such a lovely guy, Cav. I'm so happy that I'm so glad that he's kind of sorted himself out, and good luck to him with the book. I mean, there's probably some great stories.
I'm not a reader, but I did the audio book, and I was great. It is fantastic.
Did he say anything about us?
Probably, possibly. Nothing bad, no. Nothing.
No, it won't be bad. No, we got on really well with Cav.
Yeah, no, it's not a music book. It's not about the music. It's a life story. That's what he says. And it's a story about recovery. Yeah. And he's like 4 years sober now.
Yeah. No, he's a lovely lad, Cav. I mean, I'm so happy he's got to a good place in his life.
Yeah, and I really hope his book kicks on because it's fabulous. And some of the run-ins he had and all that.
Oh yeah, we all had them.
Yeah. So you said that songwriting's became a kind of therapy for yourself. And as an artist, is that when you're at your happiest?
Yeah, especially in the early days of 911. When you first begin, obviously you want like massive songs because you want the great songs to be kind of like out there and people loving them. And I think as we did, we knew that we were going to have like 4 or 5 singles, which ended up being 6 singles on the journey. But we also knew that we had to write a lot of songs for the album. And songwriting was kind of it was a new thing for all of us at that time. But we managed to get about four songs on the album. And it was great. And progressively, we realized that it was a real passion of ours to kind of songwriting as well. So you had to find a fine balance between letting the great songwriters write the hits, and you write the kind of rest of the stuff to fill in the album. And then as you progressively got better and better at it, you kind of go, oh, that's a great song. Why don't we stick that out as a single? So the likes of like Party People, which we got to write on, and all the rest of it, we were very lucky that the writers allowed us in because they saw that we had something good to put in, and from that point onwards, it always came, certainly for me, it was always a huge passion, and still to this day, writing for us and lots of other people.
Yeah. So I think 911 are a lovely mix of doing the covers and doing your original material as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to accept that, there is times in your career, everybody's done it, where, you might not quite have the single that is a killer. Yeah. So you then go, right, let's just do a cover. And that'll get us through.
Cover, yeah.
It's all to do with like gaps in your career, because what happens is if you haven't got that killer single, they say to you, right, okay, we really need something out now. So it also gives you a breather for like 2 or 3 months while you're promoting that, because then you go, right, well, during that time you can try and find the next single. So it has its purposes.
Yeah, you can't become stale, can you? You got to stay in the public's psyche, haven't you?
And the music business, even when we were younger, the music business was progressively changing from the journey to right through till the greatest hits album. The music business had changed so much, so you do have to keep in the eye of the public, and what do they want from music, because obviously 90s had a pop R&B. Also pop R&B was kind of coming in, so you kind of go, right, we got to change it up a little bit now, and we were obviously getting older as well.
Yeah, got to move with the times. Yeah,
absolutely,
you get left behind otherwise.
Yeah.
So out of everything from the 911 songbook, so tracks you've written yourself or tracks you've covered, which are you most proud of?
As singles, probably. I think we're lucky enough to be able to choose a few, because obviously, for me, 𝚑𝚒𝚖𝚖𝚢, I think should have been. I think it was a number 3 it came in at. I think should have been a bigger song. But again, that comes down to who you're releasing with as well. Because if you're releasing at the same time as the likes of, I don't know, Robbie or whatever, you've got a fight on your hands.
You went at the wrong time, can't you?
Yeah. So I think 𝚑𝚖𝚖𝚢, All I Want Is You, Body Shaking is an obvious one, and it's a fan favorite.
Yeah. Would you say that's your signature tune, Body Shaking?
I would probably say so if I had to pick one, because everybody has a list of songs. They're like, what's your favorite song? And Body Shaking's always on it. But then I do, we do have a lot of fans that go, well, Party People was my favorite, or you don't know everybody's likeness for what they want, but we're lucky that we've got a few to choose from.
Yeah, I was watching a recent clip of you doing Body Shaking from it must have been like a couple of years back, doing it live. Right. And have you knocked that on the head now? Did you not bother doing that anymore?
It's a weird one. It's one of those where, when you're kind of like back in the 90s, it was like we came up with this move, literally in front of a mirror in rehearsal room in Glasgow. Yeah. And it was like, because me and Spike had kind of done it on a couple of radio shows just as a dance move. And it was one of those where when you're like 19, 20 years old, you're like all there energy wise. But I think as progressively as you get older, it's like, it's not, Body Shaking always seems to be the last song. So you've got a whole set to do. of energy.
Or doing the most energetic number.
Yeah, you're killing yourself. And then you get to body shape, then you're a bit like, oh my God, I've still got to do this one at the end. So
5-minute breather.
Yeah, I think it's more about kind of just conserving your energy levels.
Yeah. But I love body shaking, and there's a couple of like deep cuts, new groove generation. Really good track that. Yeah. Even some of the tracks you did on the 2013 compilation you did with like.
We did. We did.
I Do.
Yeah, we did. Was it 𝚑𝚒𝚖𝚖𝚢? Yeah. We did like an album where it was like we remixed, or so we remastered some of the old songs, and then we did some extra songs.
A few newies, yeah.
It was.
Newies are good, yeah. Diamonds as well.
Diamonds.
Yeah.
Alive was another dance track. Some great songs on there.
Yeah, so I've just listened to that before, yeah. Yeah, on my commute, yeah. Some really nice tunes there, mate.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So I'll just conclude. So what is your best memory of your time in the band?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to take it right back to when I was talking earlier about being around the coffee table, our manager's little flat. And we had dreams of what we wanted to do. This is before we got signed. We hadn't even had the single. And one of the things we said was we would love to perform at Wembley Arena. And obviously Wembley Arena is not there anymore. But when it was there, and then I think it was a year and a half later when we signed to Virgin and we were doing our first ever arena tour. And all three of us went and stood on the front of the Wembley Arena stage before they let anybody in, and just kind of stood there and went, do you remember that conversation we had around the coffee table?
Just had a moment,
There it is. And it was like, it was the best feeling in the world. It was like, it just goes to show that, you can fight for your dreams, and you work hard enough, you can get it.
Yeah, certainly can, mate. Yeah, and you're standing there with two fellas who you consider brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible feeling.
Embarking on this journey together. Yeah.
Little did we know the madness that was going to hit us.
Yeah. So are you closer than you've ever been with the two lads?
It's a bit. We're always close. It's always like a brotherly love. But obviously the difference is, we're all a bit different now. We've got different lives. Obviously, I'm married with kids, and Lee's in another relationship, and he lives in Carlisle. Spike is Warrington. He's got kids. So it's not that you're not close. It's just that life takes over, like everybody. And we, obviously, we'll be spending a lot more time, certainly within the next few weeks, for rehearsals, and obviously we see each other every weekend anyway because it's festival season. So we'll always have that brotherly love. It's just that obviously we don't spend as much time together because of life's taken over.
Other commitments,
Yeah, absolutely.
But the best friendships you have, you're not in each other's pockets. You don't have to hear from each other all the time, do you?
Yeah. And it's like, as soon as you get back together, it's like, it's like nothing's happened. Yeah.
I've got two best mates who are exactly like that.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, you've got to keep them. I've got a couple of, 3 lads that I've known since I was 17, from the days of going to 18 to 30 club in Gran Canaria. I don't see them very often, but you can guarantee they'll be at Liverpool. And we'll be having a few sherbets after.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time, Jimmy.
Really no worries, mate.
Especially on the eve of a gig. On the eve of a gig as well.
That's all right. Just a fellow Scouser has always got plenty of time for you.
Yeah. I don't have to dumb down my accent for anyone. Yeah, which is good. Yeah. Yeah, I'll speak to Scott as well, your manager, and I'll get something out for the socials.
Yeah, no worries. Come along to the show, and we'll have a chat. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah.
Scotty will sort it out for you.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah, top geezer, him, isn't he?
He's a lovely lad. He's been with us since day one. He used to be when Virgin Records was flying high. When we were there, they opened a sub label called Innocent, and they were the ones that signed Blue. And he used to look after Billy Piper. So we've known Scotty since day one. Yeah,
you say, I'm seeing Tash in a couple of weeks in Newcastle.
Yeah.
He said,
yeah.
Knows everyone.
He knows everybody. He's like, and that's the great thing about having a manager like that, because he knows all our territories, he knows all our sales, and he knows everybody in the business that we knew. So he knows exactly what he's got to do.
Yeah, good person to have on side, Jimmy.
Fantastic lad, honestly.
Yeah, excellent. Have a good weekend, pal. Pleasure.
All right, mate. Well, hopefully we'll catch up at the Liverpool show.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, take care, mate.
All right, mate. Take it easy.
Have a good weekend, pal.
You too.
See you, fella.
See you later.